I have on the line from America, Larry Spiderman McBride. Larry, it's good to be talking to you today. How are you?
Oh, everything's going great.
Now, Spiderman, a lot of people maybe listening to this won't know what that's all about. But basically, it's about being an extremely fast drag racer on a motorcycle. How on earth did you get into doing motorcycle drag racing?
Oh, geez, I've been doing it. I started out in motocross way back in the '70s, and then in the late '70s, I started drag racing and just fell in love with it. So I've just continued on. This is my 41st year, and
Wow.
I've won 18 titles, and it's definitely been a great career.
Now, the motorcycle you ride now, I mean, I've seen it a few times. I've watched it a few times. It's pretty damn awesome, if you don't mind me saying. Can you tell us a little bit about that thing?
Oh, it's great. It's we basically we built a new bike back and debuted it in 2016, and my brother just redesigned a few things to try to make it a little bit better, and the end result is it worked out real well. The bike has been extremely fast. It's reset the world record, and only in its second year out. So we're extremely happy with the motorcycle. It's just got a lot of new stuff on it that all new. You always try to make things better, and sometimes you make things a lot worse. But in this case, everything came out on the good side.
Now, with this bike, I mean, it races in top fuel category, which means it doesn't burn conventional petrol like we know that comes out the tank. What does it actually burn?
Well, we actually run nitromethane. It's it's the same fuel that the NHRA funny cars and top fuel cars run. It's just an extremely powerful fuel. Without the nitro, we wouldn't have very much power at all. But with that nitro, the way it combusts it's just an awesome fuel to run. And then you just got to have all your engine components that will take the amount of fuel that you put in these things, because so oxygenated, you put a lot of fuel in these things, so you burn a lot of fuel. In my case, in a quarter of a mile, we're going through about 4.5 gallons of fuel. So that's quite a bit on a motorcycle that's only 1,511 cc's, 92 cubic inches. So it's not real big, but it's supercharged, and we're making a little over 1,500 horsepower. So it's quite a trick to ride.
I was going to say, how on earth, somebody said to me, when you get onto these things, you don't ride them, you hang on. Is that the way you feel, or do you actually go for it? Do you ride it? Are you actually steering and powering that thing?
I'm not one of them guys that just hang on. I know how to. I know where I'm at, and if I don't feel comfortable, I shut it off. But you've got to be doing it as long as I have. You got to know where you are, and what happens to some guys is, I'm very, very fortunate. I started out at a young age, and I worked my way up. I didn't just go from right to these bikes here, because I've been doing it so long. So we went through all of the series of running in the 8s and the 7s and the 6s and the 5s now. So it's something that you got to know what you're doing, and you got to have respect. And if you don't respect the motorcycle, it's not going to respect you, and then you're going to end up getting yourself hurt. But I tell you, I really enjoy riding it. I don't know exactly how many more years I'm going to ride. Like I say, this is my 41st year, so and I'm 60 years old. But I'm definitely good for at least one more year for sure.
Definitely.
And maybe two. It's all about sponsorship stuff. So we keep hanging on to the sponsors. We're going to continue to try to go out there and run. We don't run. Like back in the day, we would run anywhere from 12 to 16 races a year, which is a lot. this day and time, I usually only try to run 7 to 8 races a year, which is more than enough for us. With the amount of money that we get from sponsors, and it's just gotten so expensive for the travel time for them. I got some guys that fly in, and so it's a pretty good expense. So you have to limit yourself to what you do. I'd love to come over to Europe and race, but unfortunately, the finances just don't fall into place for us to do that.
No, it would be extremely expensive. But just going back to the figures on the bike itself when you're riding it, I've got notes here that say it does, from a standing start, you can get to 60 feet in less than 1 second.
Yes, sir. Less than 1 second. Yes, sir.
Wow. And then
and you're going into the eighth of a mile in 3.6 seconds. So on a good run, we run consistent 3.7 seconds in the eighth mile at over 200 miles an hour in the eighth mile. So it's definitely quite a ride. And in 60 feet, you're probably running, I'd say, somewhere between 70 and 80 miles an hour in 60 feet.
Wow. I mean, that must be a wonderful. Must be a huge adrenaline rush when you launch off the line.
Oh, it's definitely every time you crank the bike up, it's an adrenaline rush. So it's definitely, I tell you, it's so hard to explain what it's like to ride one of these things. And I think that other riders would tell you the same thing. It's just hard to explain it. It's I love it. It's definitely an adrenaline rush, and people always, say, well, why do you continue doing it? Well, I'm safer than they are riding on the road by a long shot. Even though we're running 150 miles an hour, we're not dodging cars. And that's what the whole deal is. I used to ride on the street back in the day, and I hadn't rode on the street now probably in 20 years, maybe around the block or something. I just don't ride on the street anymore, just because, I guess, from being in the motorcycle business all these years, and then you see all kind of customers in accidents, and they get past, they get killed in a motorcycle accident, and it's always involves a car, and it's just a shame that that it has to be that way.
Now, is it with your brother Steve that you run the business that you've got, which is motorcycle, I guess, custom work?
Yes, sir.
Because Steve,
yes, sir. We build. We mainly build race bikes. Is what our main job is. We have a machine shop. We make a lot of parts, and of course, we do cylinder heads and engine building and things like that. And right now we're in the process of building 3 Top Fuel bikes and 2 Top Fuel Harleys. Wow. So we've definitely got our hands full right now. We're working 7 days a week, and just trying to get everything done. And we're a little behind, as normal builders are. we're no different than anybody else. We're always running behind, but we really enjoy what we're doing, and it gets a little frustrating, because it's such a slow process. But still, it's all about what you like to do.
So Steve is an integral part of both the race team and also the business, though, isn't he?
Oh, yes, sir, absolutely. He's he's my crew chief, always has been in my racing deal, and he's been my right arm ever since I've been in business. We've always worked together, where most brothers can't do that. I ain't gonna say we don't have our problems, but we always work through them, and without him, I couldn't do this at all. He is the designer, the engineer, he makes all the parts. I'm no machinist by no means. He is the machinist, and he's the designer. So it all works out pretty good. We had a lot of great people that we've learned from. Elmer Trett, Chris Hand. Just goes on and on. A guy named Squeaky Bell. It just goes on, and all the people that we've raced with and learned from. Vance and Hines, Byron Hines, Terry Vance, Matt Hines, Andrew Hines. All these guys. Bill Miller Engineering, he's been really behind us the last couple of years, and giving us a lot of insight on things. So the thing is, we're not to the point where we think we know it all. You still have to go out and get help and learn new things from other people, because you don't know everything yourself. So you go out, you surround yourself with great people, and good things happen to you.
Now, the one thing I suppose was the big barrier was the 6-second barrier, which, of course, now has been broken. Do you think anybody on two wheels will ever get to 5 seconds dead or below?
Well, I've been running in the fives since 1999. I have the record at a 5.61. I was the first guy to go under 6.5 seconds. Also, so I don't see in my career. I really don't see. 550s maybe. I that's what I'm thinking. I went 561, and if we'd had the short numbers with that, we'd run into 550s. So I believe we could run low 550s pretty safely. Our tracks over here are pretty good compared to some of the European tracks. Are a little short, maybe a little bumpy. And I think that's why you see over here, some of the speeds and some of the ETs that we run over here. Not saying that you got a great track over in England now at Sanapod. So a great racetrack over there, and they're really showing some really fast numbers over there. And I believe that they're running over in Hockenheim this weekend over in Germany.
Yep.
And unfortunately, I just got some bad news on the way to work that Rickord Gaslin, he came off in the stopping area today. So we don't know, what the extent of everything is. I just read a little clip on Facebook that said that he broke his arm and had a little bit of liver damage or something going on there, a broken rib. So,
yeah,
all of our prayers are out for him, and hope he, a super fast recovery, and just trying to find out more what's going on and what happened, so we can try to, if it was something due to the bike, or was it something due to the track, or what was the issue, so we can jump on it immediately and try to see if we can stop that from happening for sure.
Well, best wishes to him and all of his family as well.
Yes, sir.
These things, I mean, they are incredible feats of engineering. Just the bike itself. How much further can it advance without going into, sort of rockets and jets and things like that?
It just, as you know, everything just keeps advancing. So, where does it stop at? I can't tell you because I don't know. I know we just, we built a brand new bike, and it seems like every race we're updating it with something, whether it's a new sensor to get more data and that's the biggest thing, getting all this data and then, putting it into the motorcycle to make it go quicker and faster. So where does it stop at? There's only one person this whole world knows, and that's going to be the good Lord. So
too true.
He's the only one that knows everything. So I don't have a clue where it's going to stop at. We just try to keep doing and try to make it as safe and make great parts, and I just look forward to every race.
Now, I've got to ask you one more question, and then I'm going to let you go because I know obviously you're very, very busy. Is it true that you got the nickname Spiderman because of the way you sort of crawl around on the bike when it's going?
Yes, sir. That's exactly right. That
brilliant.
That was a kind of a strange deal, and I don't know if I'm sure some people still remember Dave McClellan and all them guys that used to, the older guys that used to announce for NHRA. And in 1980, that's what they started calling me. He said, man, he crawls around that thing like Spider-Man. And all of a sudden, the nickname just stuck with me. And, it's been a great nickname, with the kids, because I got a great relationship with all the kids. So that's what it's all about, spending time with the kids, showing them, something else to do besides play computer games. And because there's a lot of computer stuff involved in racing, but you're learning something. You're not, and you're working at the same time. So it's been a great nickname. I tell you, I don't think I'd want another one.
Well, Larry Spiderman McBride, thank you so much for taking time out to talk to us. We really appreciate it. Good luck and be safe on the bike, and good luck in business. We'll see you soon, hopefully.
Okay, and thank you so much for the call. And if y'all ever need us here again, we'll always be glad to do anything we can to help you out. And to all the kids out there, keep up with us, and we'll hope to see y'all sometime over here in the U.S. at a race.
That'd be brilliant. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
That was great.